Hello, chess fans. Today we're going to talk about a pretty important topic, which is how to avoid blundering and some tools that chess masters use to preset themselves to not find themselves in losing a game quickly or losing a game tragically, or at least some tools that I've found have helped. The first one, most of you have probably heard, but if not, how's this go? LPDO. Loose pieces, loose pieces drop off. I'd say this is the number one thing. Unprotected pieces are liable to be captured or double attacked. They are definitely a liability. And I wanted to show you a game or two where some pretty famous folks got in trouble. So I think I was actually at this tournament, and I had played Bereev in the first round, Grandmaster Bereev from Russia. Here he's playing the eventual tournament winner, Hikaru, and they started off with a London. Queen to b6 is already applying some principles of LPDO, although it is a pawn, not a piece per se. Knight h5 is an unprotected piece. Like whenever you play a move like knight h5, of course, looking and seeing, but there's no way for white to exploit it just yet. And then this is like the red flag moment. When he plays knight e5, this bishop is no longer protected on h4, and this queen has access to a check. The b4 square intersects e1 and h4, and sure enough, there's trouble. Now, Bereev may have seen it, and his idea was, well, I can capture on h5, protecting the bishop, and now this guy is loose, but okay, black has a very good move, which actually ties into my next huge concept. Loose pieces drop off. We all know that, hopefully. But in my opinion, the second area for major mistakes to come in is simply trapped pieces. Beware of trapped pieces. Trapped pieces falling into a way, like famously, the game Spassky Fischer, where he plays bishop takes h2, and his bishop got trapped in the corner. Everyone knows that, but here's a case where a very strong grandmaster at the end of the combination falls for knight g4, and yeah, black is going to play pawn to g6, and there's a bit of a problem here. So he struggled on with bishop g3, making a flight square for the queen. And look how simple this is. Bishop g7 and bishop f6, the queen is getting trapped, and white actually resigned there. So beware of trapped pieces. And I have one more concept. I'm just going to look at this game cold. I don't know. I have not seen it yet. So we have the check Benoni, I believe it's called. I like this move, bishop b5 check, attempting to trade off our bad bishop for black's good bishop. Pawn to a4 makes sense to restrain the queen side. I play this line myself. Now black's going to trade off his bad bishop for our good bishop. It's a very logical line. Knight out. And, well, here we are. The knight on h5 is unprotected. It's on the same line as the queen. Knight takes e5 is just screaming to be played, following the principle of LPDO. But what do you know? He goes for the trap piece. He goes for the LPDO and runs right into the trap piece. And he had to resign. So a little bit of calculation was called for there. Knight h5 is not as silly as it looks, because, yeah, your queen gets trapped if you take that. That's two in a row with a very similar theme, actually. Let's see the next one. Another win by Nakamura. Let me see this. He had the black pieces, right? Yeah, he had the black pieces. And we have a like an Owens defense or English defense. Yeah, I have good memories about this variation. I had a very good game once with Grandmaster Jesse Cry as white, where I won with the white pieces. And it followed the same line. It's extremely risky for black, but yeah, white has to take care. Yeah, this is just goofy. Like, white messed up pretty bad here. And he just dropped his queen. I mean, the rook can take the queen, so loose pieces drop off. If memory serves correct, he needs to play bishop g5, and then the queen can go to h4. And really, white should just go into total attack mode and not care about the rook so much, and be willing to castle along eventually. So yeah, he hung his queen. Loose pieces drop off. Duplicate games. We have Grishtuk versus Duda. This was a 1-minute game, but these guys are so strong we can still learn something from even their 1-minute chess, I imagine. The Petrov opening, Russian opening. It's fitting. And I think this should be called the Chinese variation with bishop g5. So here, this is a good one, right? Like somehow white's winning a piece, because after bishop takes e4, we have a double attack. If he goes for the intermezzo, bishop takes here. At the end of the sequence, there's this check, followed by rook takes the bishop, and white has a winning piece, or extra piece. That actually does bring me my third point. Simply forcing moves first, which is not profound. It's just the idea that we should be calculating the forcing moves first, literally. So in this position, I imagine that castles is an error, but I'm not wholly sure about that. Let's see. Castles takes. Yeah. Does black have to resign now? The answer is kind of. So the theory is going to be a pawn sacrifice. Okay, I'm wrong about that. So the theory is just to take the pawn and break the tension. Because if you castle, he can apply the principle of forcing moves first. And a bit of a tangle. I think bishop g6 is very reasonable, though. At least you're not losing a piece, right? And black would stumble on and try to get that pawn back on d5. Computer hates it for white, or hates it for black, because of forcing moves first. Capture, capture, attack, with pressure on this square and pressure on the bishop, means that white's probably staying up a pawn for some time, if not 2 pawns. Instead, we see the move, yeah, castles, takes. Queen takes is like a really bad move, because if you take with the queen, then there's simply a double attack, forcing moves first, and loose pieces drop off with that. And of course, if we go the other way, like I already showed, he doesn't have bishop takes f3 because of this sequence, very forceful sequence that ends with a check. I shouldn't say that check is the most forcing move in chess, because checkmate is, but second to checkmate, we have that. So LPDO, loose pieces drop off, is number 1. Beware of trap pieces at the end of combinations in particular. This is more of an advanced concept of just double checking that you're not getting trapped at the end of a combo, and forcing moves first. Just looking for all the captures, checks, mate threats, single attacks, and so on. Okay, so that is my speech and lesson about where blunders come up and how to avoid them. I hope that helped. Over and out.